guys, it's Brooke. So today I wanted to do like a little debrief about my favorites. In total, I had 5.5. I'll just go a little bit over it, explain a little bit about them, and make a little review. So no more things to say. Let's go. Okay, so I started one strong with Keeping 13, the second book of the Boys of Tommen series. And I honestly enjoyed this book so much. I genuinely love it so much. It's like a little, it's just ingrained in my heart now. Well, in this book we continue the story of Jan and Shani, the same couple out the first book. And then we go on Jenny's journey after his surgery and Shannon's household situation. And you know, if you read the first one, you know. I really enjoyed this book because it has it's very engaging. I think this one's more engaging than Binding 13, I have to admit, and I really enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed that we also see the characters, the friend group, a little bit more in this one. As well, it happens because we are already more comfortable, we already know them, all the background, so that's why it develops into more like their daily kind of thing. We don't need to know them anymore, we already know them, so we just get into the situations. I really liked it. Again, I enjoyed it so much, but it's very important that people need the trigger warnings because it's kind of becomes some sensitive topics, so it's very important about it. Yeah, because as much as it made me laugh and enjoyed it, it also made me cry a lot. So just so you know, if you want to know the trigger warnings, it has domestic abuse, physical and psychological abuse, and grief, so it's important about it. But overall, I think I give the book 5 stars. I cannot deny it. I loved it so much. Okay, next on the list is Vitamin 6, which is the 4th book of the Boys of Tommen series. Because I read Binding 13 and Saving 6 kind of first, and then Keeping 13 and Vitamin 6 because I wanted to do a little bit with the timelines. But it's not necessarily that, it's just I'm complicating myself. Well, we see everything from Joey's perspective, and it starts before Binding 13 starts. It starts when Joey was a kid. Joey and Eva were kids. That's where this story started. We see a lot of topic about family support, again, grief, and relationships. Overall, I think it's very emotional again. It has really good moments, but sometimes it's just too much. But I really liked it a lot. I enjoyed Joey's and Eva's story so much. They're super sweet. We again, same with Shannon and Johnny. The second book's a little more in the present, and with the already knowing the characters, so we could just follow their story easier, and why they do this, why this happened, and it's honestly very heartbreaking at the same time. I think Saving 6 and Vitamin 6 were more heartbreaking than 13's. It really hurt a lot, but after all, overall, I think they are in a very good writing style, very engaging again. So I really enjoy it. Again, the trigger warnings in this are very important. This also includes domestic abuse, physical and psychological abuse, grief, and drugs abuse. So please be aware. But overall, I think I would give it 5 stars again. I think you can know where the line with Boys of Tommen is going. But anyways, Okay, my next book on the list is continuing Boys of Tommen, Taemin 7. So a little bit brief about what we see in this book is Clarissa and Gibbs' story. I really enjoyed it a lot. This is a childhood friends to lovers, which I found super sweet. I really enjoyed their trope is like sunshine egg sunshine. It's very funny. I think as you read Binding, Keeping 13 and Saving and Redeeming 6, you could tell like Gibbsy, it's myself and my friends that I recommend the book, one of favorite characters because he's so funny. He has no right to be that funny. So reading their story, it was actually super nice. Again, a little debrief. We go through their story. It also starts when they were little. We see a lot of Gibbs's like past. It has trauma about it a lot. I think this one was one of the ones that I cried the most in the series. I genuinely, at some parts, I felt so bad. But I overall enjoyed it. I think it's nice to be aware of a lot of stuff that Boys of Tommen I think goes over. And it's not romanticizing, not go over it. Because these topics are not, you can see them in rose-colored glasses. These topics, they are what they are. You cannot like insert them. But I'll go over that later in another book. Overall, I think it's very good. But again, as I was saying, read the trigger warnings. It includes loss of a loved one, grief, grooming, and sexual assault. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm going to put 4 stars in this one because it's the shortest one of the series. And not for only that, but there's one thing that I felt like I kind of lost it on the way. It's like there was one part of the trope that it was very important because we saw it like since Keeping 13. We kind of got a hint of that. So when I got to this book, I really want to like go over that. And we kind of did at the beginning, but we lost it. Like we don't know what happened. I was like, okay, and what happened to that? Because that was important, wasn't it? So that's the only, I think, con that I would give to it. Okay. My 4th read of the month was Picking Daisies on Sundays. I really enjoyed this book. I've seen it like a lot, and that's what I wanted to read it. Especially after I finished like Boys of Tommen. Because I really like that series a lot, so it kind of needed like something that I would really enjoy, but at the same time was very light. And I think this is like very the perfect book for it. If you like Limb Painter, so like Better Than the Movies, it's so made for you. It has like childhood best friends trope, fake dating. It's very nice. It feels like a 2000s rom-com, and yeah, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, 27 Dresses, those kind of rom-coms. Yes please, that's what that book was about. It has kind of like, it's also like in college. It's not situated in high school, it's situated in college, and it was very nice. Enjoy that. I actually got flashbacks from when I was deciding to go to college because they mentioned the school that I was going to. But yeah, that was very fun. I really enjoyed that read. I think I would give it 5 stars. It was very light to read. It was very easy. I really enjoyed it. I would give it 5 stars. I read it in one day. 100% I recommend. And lastly, my last book of the month was the most expected release of the year. For me, one of the most, I guess, actually. But anyways, Releasing 10. I couldn't wait until this one was released, and I actually really enjoy it. And I want to go a little bit deeper in this one, especially after right now that it just came out. There's a lot of controversy around it, and I want to like go deep on that. So first of all, this is the 6th book of the Boys of Tommen series. This follows the story of Lizzie and Hughie. So it's a hard start. I'm just gonna say it's a hard start. This is the heaviest book of the series. Like, this is the hardest book to read in the series. So you really need to be aware of that. Make sure to read the trigger warnings. And it's okay if you don't want to read it, because it has very sensitive topics, more than I feel the other series. So basically this one starts in 1989. So we go all the way from it mostly starts with Liz's perspective, the very beginning of the book. And it's mostly how they met with Hughie and all like their childhood. We don't really go over like the present kind of thing, because they're based on the 2000s, so it's not the actual present, but the present. The present, according to the timeline on the other books, is 2005. We don't get to see 2005 in Releasing 10. We go over Liz's story, and it's very hard to process, because damn, I'm gonna say I always was a Lizzie defender. I'm not Team Gibbsy or Team Lizzie. I don't think there's thing to choose. There's no need to choose, because at the end of the day they're both teenagers, and they both do mistakes, and they're both dealing with trauma. And I think that's one of the reasons that I feel like there are a little bit of parallels of how people deal differently with trauma. Because, and when I say I'm a Liz defender, I don't mean that she's innocent in everything. We just let go over it. She needs to apologize, gives a lot of apologies. However, I always knew that there was something behind it. I always had the feeling that there was nothing in the story that, oh, she's just mean. And we do find out a lot. Just in the synopsis, we found out that she's bipolar. She was diagnosed with when she was 8, and she has a different background of trauma also behind her. So yeah, that's one of the like things that don't, like, I like to say this, it doesn't excuse it, but it explains it. It explains the behavior. So I kind of wanted to go over my chest, and especially there's been a lot of controversy about it, because people say like she wrote that so raw. Chloe, well, she's sick for writing that, but she is not. She is just realist. And I don't think the scenes are detailed but not explicit. Like, it leaves it open. They're not romanticized, and they're not like also like raw explained. They're not detailed, but they are. They made us aware it is made to make the reader uncomfortable, because it is an uncomfortable situation. So that's a thing to keep in mind. And Chloe's statement came out on Instagram, and she also said that she wrote Lizzie because she went over that trauma. So I think this book deserves more credit than it's giving, and I actually give it a 5 stars. it's very well written, and I think it highlights the topics that it goes over very well. It is made to make you uncomfortable. It is made to make the people who went over that scene, and not romanticizing it, because it's not. There's no way to romanticize that. It is what it is. But yeah, guys, but I really enjoyed it. Had overall, other than that, it had really good moments. It had very sad moments, and I think people should give it a try, an actual try, because I know the first 90 pages were leaked, and some people started doing reviews about some snippets that they saw about that. And actually, and the first few pages were the hardest for me to read. Like, it took me like 2 days to get to like page 100, 150. The other days I read about 200 pages a day. But the beginning was the hardest part to read, and I think people should read that and take their opinions about themselves. And if you don't want to read it, then don't read it. No one is making you read the book. No one's with a shotgun in your head until you read the book. If you don't like it, and it's okay if sometimes you cannot bear with it, because it's something hard to read, like sexual is something very hard to read. So it's okay if you don't feel comfortable, if you feel bad reading it, but then stop reading, because that's it. Let's stop reading it. Nobody's making you read it, and the author don't deserve a bad review because because you're not emotionally or like mature, which is okay, because again, this is a very hard topic, so I don't mean it like in that way, but because you are not available like internally to read this yet. The book don't deserve a bad review because of that. So I wanted to clarify that a lot. But thank you for listening to me rant about this. I honestly think I could even do like a full series review of Voice of Tommen. I could do a whole separate video. I have a lot to say about this book. But yeah, overall, I tried to not to spoil, especially like in the Voice of Tommen series. So I just mentioned over a little bit of the trigger warnings, but when you like check Amazon, check Chloe's website, it includes the trigger warnings of the books, so you know yourself what you're getting into. So anyways, that was all for today. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoy it and give it a try, or just take a little and mind my reviews / recommendations. So hopefully I'll see you later. Bye bye.